Welcome everybody. This is Dawn's Rowdy 70s class, and it's a rainy afternoon here in the villages, but we love it because we need the rain, and we just went from winter to summer. What a wonderful thing. So we're going to play today. Put your hand in the hand, and before I do that, I do have to give you a little commercial. This Friday, for those of you who missed the concert last Friday, hopefully you all saw it because I picked it up on YouTube and it was very good. Time Machine concert. Last Friday we had a set of the Fletcher staff and they played some fabulous songs. This Friday the rest of the Fletcher staff at 2:15 Florida time will take you on a time machine ride and fill you in on what went on those years. And I think you're going to enjoy the concert because there's lots of good stuff happening. All right, very good. So what do we know about this song today? It's on page 226 in the 70s book. This is a gospel pop song composed by Gene McClellan and first recorded by Canadian singer Anne Murray. You all know Anne Murray from I Cried the Tear, You Needed Me. That was her big hit. And she had lots of other hits too. And Snowbird. And by the way, Gene McClellan, the guy who wrote this song, he also wrote Snowbird. So he must have been writing for Anne Murray specifically. Yep. But this song, Put Your Hand in the Hand, actually became a hit single for the Canadian band Ocean in 1971. It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. What do you think number 1 was in 71? It was actually Joy to the World by the band Three Dog Night. Very interesting. So this was covered in the 70s both by lots of other performers, including Elvis Presley, Tennessee Ernie Ford, Frankie Lane, Joan Baez, Shirley Caesar, Bing Crosby, and Anita Bryant. But it was also done in a country style by Lynn Anderson, Loretta Lynn, and the Oak Ridge Boys. So that should give you some hints as to what kind of bands and rhythms you can use on this. This is one of those songs that when I went to song setup, I am totally disagreeing with Mr. Bill Curry. This is one that I just don't, I'm either on the wrong song or he was, because I just do not like what he chose. So I'm going to go there right now. I'm going to the P's, and I am on the Imperial, by the way. And song setup says, Put Your Hand in Hand. That should be this song, wouldn't you think? So I touch it, and it brings up Southern Gospel at 94. It doesn't work for me. If you just play it, it's either too slow or too fast. It doesn't work for me. Way too slow, and if I do it in double time, it's way too fast. So everything that I did is on 130 beats a minute. So I'm kind of going right in between. I think that actually works better, especially when you listen to some of the recordings that are out there. So whatever background you want, and guess what? Lots of them work. Lots of them work. One of my favorite ones is actually Rock and Roll Fab 4. Basic rock also works. But if you go to Fab 4, it just gave it a kind of a driving beat that you actually hear when Ocean plays this song. And rhythm preset number 1 is a 50s guitar. Rhythm preset number 3 is a blues organ. Number 8 is a 70s piano. And number 9 is a full Hammond B organ. Okay, and we're going to run into some blues notes in this song. We're going to make that B flat a flat, and there's several places that you can actually add that into this song and turn it into a real bluesy song. I also liked it on, let's see, what did I actually choose here? Basic rock at 130, and I'm using rhythm preset 8, which is piano and strings. Now, This is one where you're going to want to add some harmony halfway through. So make sure that you preset your harmony to a country harmony because we want to put that harmony note on top of the melody note. So preset that and then turn it off so that you're going to start with a solo sound. And then you're going to go back to a solo song, and I also want you to listen for some echoes. I'm going to put some echoes in. And we're also going to do some transposing to the arrangement. It's not a hard song. This song is actually pretty easy. I do have an introduction written out. It's just a real easy intro, but it works. So here we go with basic rock. Add your harmony. Oops, let's get it right. At the end of the first ending and go back and play it, and you can play it as many times as you want. So that's basic rock, and that was rhythm preset 8, which was a piano, but you could use so many other things. Let's go to folk style, basic folk or contempo with no variation. That gives you a whole different feel, but I am still at 130, and I'm taking the harmony off, and I'm going to add the country harmony in the same place that I did. So let's see what that one actually sounds like. Fun? Is it a fun song to play? It's a blast. This is one that you can just try lots of different gospel backgrounds or anything 4/4 is going to make it go. Sweet Carolina, if you have it, take your Orchestra Plus off. With or without altar is good. Guitar Standard is fabulous. If you've got Snowbird, go ahead and put it on Snowbird. Soft rock works very well. The only one I didn't like it on was the one that song Setup came on. So lots of stuff. Let's try that Fab 4 one that I had on. Fab 4. Let's put it on 130. Let's go to rhythm preset 1 and let's do it. let's just take the song apart in sections because I'm doing different things in different sections because otherwise the song just repeats and it repeats and it repeats and it repeats. So you want to do different things for your arrangement. Now that can be just going to the different presets up and down, but it can also be things like adding a harmony or adding an echo or doing something a little bit different. So that's why we're doing different things in different sections. So your first section, you know what? Let's do the roadmap first.
Dawn, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just got in. What's the name of the song,
We're
please?
doing Put Your Hand in the Hand, Miss Connie, and we're just having fun with an easy song.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, page 226.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was at a health fair.
Oh, okay. Did you get healthier?
I walked real quickly to get back here.
Yeah.
Okay.
The roadmap on this is actually fairly simple as well because you're just doing stuff it's the same blurb over and over. And yeah, hit number 2. Why? Because it's a feel-good song. It's fabulous. So we're going to play all of page 1, all of page 2. Page 3, it's the first 2 lines, and then in line 3 you have that first ending, and then you have your dots. And that's where I recommend transposing for every verse because it just takes it to the next level. Where are you going back to? Back to the dots. Back to the dots on page 1. All right, when you play it the second time, you're going to skip over the second ending. So at the end of the second line on the third page, you're going to jump down to the second ending, and then you have 2 thin lines. Uh-oh, 2 thin lines tells me to go back and do it again. So it wants me to go back to the silly sign, which is the same place. Now I'm going to play to the 2 coda and end the song. But you know what? Just like what Hal said, if you start to get bored with the song, you can just fade it out wherever you feel like fading it out. So don't worry about it. If you start getting bored with it, just fade it out. So here I have a 2 coda on the second page. Remember, codas send me forwards. So you want to go from line 2 on the second page to line 3 on the third page and just finish the song. Did I change some chords? Yes, I did. Are they hard? Not at all. So let's go through and try that. Line 1, no changes. Line 2, you may put a 7 on the A minor, making it a C, G, A. Third line, the D is good for 1 measure. Then you have a G for 2 counts. Beat 3 of that measure, put in a plain old C, chicken, and then beat 1 of the next measure, go back to G. So you're just going G, C, G. That's also the spot right there.
Dawn?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I had the wrong page. Dawn?
You had a wrong page?
I had the wrong page, so
Okay.
could you start over?
Yes.
Right, at the first page, you had no changes?
No. First line,
And the
no
second
changes.
line?
Second line, put a 7 on the A minor. Third
Okay,
line,
fine.
second measure. The G is
Okay.
good for 2 counts. Beat 3, put a plain old C, chicken. Beat 1 of the next measure, go back to the G, G, C, G. Then you're going into the next section. You're taking a look at yourself. That's where you want to add your country harmony. So write a little note, add country harmony. If you're in a smaller organ and you don't have country harmony, put a duet on. And that's going to take the place of it. Fourth line, the D minor, you can put a 7 on it. The G, now the G can be a G7, F and G, or it can be a G9. G9 is a 4-fingered chord, F, G, A, B. So you can do a G9 instead of a G7. But just to challenge yourself a little bit, so don't worry about it. The C is fine. Now this next chord is important because it really makes a better sound. Top of the second page, cross out the C7 and replace it with C sharp diminished. C sharp diminished is a two-fingered chord, C sharp and G. Going to the G. You're going to like how that chord sounds, I promise you. That's a good chord. The G chord in measure 2 is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the G for the quarter note for the word hand. Put an E minor, elephant minor, E and G. Now this next measure is probably the hardest measure in the whole song. You're going to cross out the D and replace it with A7, alligator 7 for 2 counts. Now write small because you got 2 more chords. Beat 3 over the B flat, put in a D augmented or a D7 augmented. Your notes are C, D, F sharp, A sharp. For 1 count. And then over the A, beat 4, go back to a D7. So if you just want to play D7 for both of them, that would be fine. But I like it. And I'm playing it with a little bit of syncopation and a little bit of attitude. And that's the way you should play everything. Just play everything with a little bit of attitude, and all of a sudden you're going to have this fabulous gospel country rock song. And Dave, if you want to play it in disco, it probably is good in disco too. All right, the next line, G, C, G. There we go again with G, C, G. But now I'm adding some notes to the right hand. And what I'm doing is underneath the C chord, you're going to play 2 eighth notes, and they're going to have stacked eighth notes. Stacked eighth notes. You're going to play E over C and E over C again. So under the C, you're going to have 2 eighth notes. E on the first line, and then right underneath it, C on the first line below the staff. And then do that again. E on the first line, and C on the first line below the staff. And you're going to play them while you are holding the G note. Or not. Just play them. They're fun. And then the next measure, under the G chord, you're going to play another stacked set of 2. D on the first space below the staff, and B butterfly on the second space below the staff. So you're actually playing E, C, E, C, D, B. And it just makes it more fun. Now, if you can't get to those notes, forget about them. A fill-in is going to work just fine.
I didn't quite understand that one, Dawn.
Okay. First measure of line 2. You're going to play the G.
Yep.
And then underneath the C chord, you're going to play 2 notes at a time. E over C, and you're going to play it twice. So E, C, E, C. And then under the G, the first beat of the next measure, you're going to play D, B. You got it, or you need to see it?
No, I think I've got it. The B is taking the place of the rest.
Yes. The DB is taking the place of the rest.
Yes,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
but the B is on the rest.
So is the D. The D and the B are together.
Yes.
No,
Oh, no, I'm on the lower one. I'm actually,
Yeah.
I'm actually
Yeah.
going low. I'm on the D and the B below the staff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I see.
That'll
what
make a
you're
difference.
saying. I see what you're doing. Yeah. Yeah, keep it
Okay, I'm
on the
with you.
lower end. They should be underneath the G. So keep
Is
it
that
keep it on.
Those are half notes or what? D,
Nope, those are eighth notes. The E's and the C's are eighth notes.
right?
And the DB can be a quarter note or a half note. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
Now this next section, okay, we're going to do chords at the same time. We'll do chords and what we're doing at the same time. Line 3, no changes for chords, but after you play the F sharp A for tremble, you're going to do an echo. So you can just write in echo. Now you can do an echo below, above, lower keyboard, whatever you want to do. But you're playing the exact same two notes. Tremble, F sharp A. You're just going to play it again. Fourth line. Let's do chords first. You may put a 7 on the A minor. The D is good, or the D7. The G is good for 2 counts. Beat 3. Make it a plain old C. And then beat 1 of the next line, make it a G. Now, if you're doing an echo, you might not get to the C, so just keep it on G. It's not that important. That C chord in line 4 is not that important. You can put it in parentheses because you want to do an echo for that last measure. Tempo, G, B. And I just write the word echo, and that tells me to play those same 2 notes again. And I can do it below, or I can do it here, wherever you want to play the echo.
Mhm.
The last line of that page, D minor, you may put a 7 on it, D minor 7. Turn the page. The G can be a G7 or a G9. G9 is those 4 fingers, slap down, F, G, A, B. It's an easy chord to play. The C chord is good for 1 measure. The next measure, cross out that C7 and replace it with C sharp diminished. C sharp and G. If that's the only chord you change in this whole song, that's the one I would change. Next line, the G is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the B 8th note for the word pain. Put in an E minor, elephant minor. Second measure, cross out the D and replace it with A7. G and A. We're going to do exactly what we did at the end of the line 1, page 2. That's good for 2 counts. Over the B flat for the word I, put a D augmented or a D7 augmented, C, D, F sharp, A sharp, or B flat, because you've got a B flat in the right hand. That's good for 1 note. Then over the A for the word should, now go back to a D7. If that's too hard for you, just play D7 for both of them. That's fine. Now let's go to the last line of the song. Over the B for the word hand, put a G, gorilla, for 2 counts. Over the G for the word hand, that's beat 3 of that measure, E minor, elephant minor. Next measure, cross out the D. It's just a repeat. You know what we're going to do. And replace it with A or A7 for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the B flat, put in a D7 or a D7 augmented. C, D, F sharp, A sharp for 1 note, and then go back to the D7, just a plain old D7 over the A. And at the end of the song, you want to do G, beat 3, go to a C, then go back to a G. So G, C, G. And under the C, you're going to do this again. You're going to do the E, C stacked twice and the D, B under the G. And you can do that wherever it shows up in the song. Wherever that shows up in the chorus, you can play that if you want, because it just makes it fun. And I recommend at the end of the first ending, transpose up. At the end of the second ending, transpose up. Why? Because it's kind of like Mac the Knife. It just makes the arrangement a little more fun. So there's a couple of different arranging elements here. You've got your harmony. You've got your echo. You've got your extra fill-in notes, and you've got your transpose. And then you've always got your presets. So you may use any or all to make the song fun, because it's fun once you start playing it. It really is.
What's
So
your
what else?
favorite? What's your favorite background?
You know what? I don't even know. I don't even know which one is my favorite because they all worked. It just depends on what kind of a mood you're in. I think I actually liked the Rock and Roll Fab 4 because it just gave it kind of a driving beat. And remember, go to your different presets and try stuff because it really is kind of fun. All right, so here we go with the Fab 4. Oops, I put the country on too soon. Fill in. Harmony. Solo sound. And you can go to a whole different solo sound here if you want. And on you go. So yeah, you can just have fun with all of the different elements. It's a fun song to play. Don't play it exactly as written. Use the notes as a guide and just have fun kind of feeling it. And if you feel like playing a little different, hold one note a little longer, play them a little shorter, that's fine. Now, I talked about a blue note. That B flat at the bottom of the first page is a blue note, and that's very common in gospel music or in blues music. You could have actually used that blue note in line 3 of the first page, the first measure. So sometimes when you play it, you might want to play it with a B natural, which would be, and sometimes you might want to play it with a B flat. and they're both right. They're both right. So whatever feels correct, and you can go back and forth between that. So don't worry about those blue notes. Throw them in when you want to.
I have a question, if I
Yes.
may.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't have country, remember Dennis Law said do octave. Would that work on that? They probably have an octave setting, wouldn't they?
Yeah, octave would work, but I think that
Just a regular duet?
duet is going to be okay, and especially on the smaller organs, they maybe don't have octave. If they don't have country, they're probably not going to have octave either.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yep.
yeah, that duet's just going to add, that second voice, because that's what you're looking for. I like the country harmony because it puts that harmony note
Yeah.
on top, but the duet puts it on the bottom and still makes it equally as wonderful. So, experiment between which harmony do you want to use. And I think the sound that you choose also determines which harmony you want to use on that. Okay, any more questions? I know David wants me to play it on disco. I can see it in his face.
Want a question first?
Oh, go ahead.
Did your intro come from line 4 on page 1?
No, it actually came from a different arrangement.
Okay.
But that being said, you could do that.
Okay.
You could just play that last line.
Yeah.
Your last line in the coda. You could play the coda, and that could be your intro, because it's close. It's very close. This actually came from a piece of sheet music where the intro does this. Very close to that last line. So if you want to just play the last line, do it.
Thank you.
Oops, let's go a little faster. There we go. Works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to play it on disco, please feel free to do that. We didn't do any country, and I told you that Loretta Lynn and the Oak Ridge Boys played it on country. So let's try something on country.
Dawn, can I ask you a question?
You may.
I do have octave harmony on my organ, so could I use it?
Sure, absolutely you can. Because octave harmony is going to make it sound like you're playing like this. It's going to make it sound like you're playing in octaves.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work. Absolutely.
Mm.
Okay, let's just for fun of it try bluegrass. Would probably be fun on this too. Okay, country harmony.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to try anything 4/4. And this is just one of those fun songs that you can just go crazy with.
I had it from someone before, I don't know who taught it, but they had gospel, revival, shouting.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Okay. I'll bet you that was really fun too.
Yeah.
Gospel, revival, and shouting. Let's go to shouting. I'll bet you that one works really fine. Yeah. 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 Gospel, you can never go wrong with gospel and a good gospel song. Yeah, but those are the things that I wanted you to try. Try the echo in the middle, but just because that's a fun thing to try. Have fun with the new chords. And yeah, you don't need my intro. You can just do the whole last line of the song and use that as an introduction. It's really good. Work with your harmonies and just see what works best for you. Try some solo things. Try some adding some harmony to your instruments. And then my recommendation at the end of every verse, go up one with the transpose, just to keep it having fun. All right, I do have fingering for you. Next week, what do we have next week? I'm going to have you take a vote on this. Rainbow Connection, we've done it so many times, and we did it in level 3 recently. So it is on Patreon. You want to do it or you want to skip it?
Skip it.
Do it.
Oh, I got
Skip
one
it.
and one.
Oh,
Oh.
Skip it.
skip it.
Okay, David, it's on Patreon. If you want to go to Patreon to my Friday class, it is on there. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
So we will go to Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
Yay.
Yeah,
That's fun.
that'll be a fun one too.
That's fun.
All right, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here today. Hopefully we'll see you on the concert on Friday at 2:15. It is a time machine concert. And I think you're going to recognize the songs because they both came out of this book. And we've done them both before. So those are the ones that I'm going to play. I have no idea what anybody else is playing, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's always fun to see what everybody else does. That's what makes it fun.
Thank
Rain-
you.
On your Friday class?
No, that's for Friday. Concert, 2:15. And I will do my Friday 11 o'clock class, and I will do my level 1 class in the store at 12:45. That's why Robert pushed it back to 2:15, because I said, Robert, I'm teaching level 1 at 12:45. And he goes, well, that gives you 15 minutes.
When
Thanks a lot, huh?
Yeah, that's what I said. Thanks.
when did you do the Rainbow Connection? Do you remember?
You know what? I'll email you, and I'll look
Okay.
it up and email you, so you can just look it up. Yeah, because it's there.
'Cause I might have another book done, but I don't have it in this book done.
Yeah, no, it's in book number 15, but it's when we repeat so many songs, sometimes people don't want to do them again and again and again and again. So that's,
Okay.
I'd like to know when it was on Patreon as well.
and who's that, Sylvia?
Sylvia,
Okay. All right. Let me get my pen out here. So Sylvia and David need to know about the Rainbow Connection.
I would like to.
Thank
do
you.
this, Brenda.
Brenda wants it too?
Yes, please.
Okay, you got it.
See, everybody wants to do it.
Dawn, you did it. Dawn,
No,
you
we've done it a lot.
We've done it a lot. Yes, we have.
did February 4th, or February 4th you did it.
February 4th? Aha! See, February 4th. Connie knows.
Yeah,
What year?
take notes.
Good.
is that
Good.
this year, February 4th?
Yeah. mhm.
Just
Yep.
recently. I know we did it just recently.
Oh,
That long
that
ago.
recent. Thank you.
Okay. And for those that need fingering, stick around. The rest of you, love you guys. I can't do it without you. This is a fun song. You're going to love playing it.
Thanks, Don.
You guys are awesome. All right. The rest of you, let's get to work. D1, E2, G4, G4, E2, G4, G4, E2, G4, G4, A5, G4. Second line, F sharp 3, A5, check mark, A3, G2, A3, A3, G2, A3, A3, G2, A3, A3, B4, or if you're playing B flat, make it a 4. C3, A3, G2. Check mark. B2, C3. Next line, D4, D4, B2, D4, D4, B2, D4, D4, E5, D4, D4, C3, D4. Watch this one, B flat 3. The reason to watch it is otherwise you're going to end up on the wrong finger. So put an arrow on that B flat just so you go from a 4 to a 3, and you're going to have to spread your fingers to get there. Top of the next page, G2, D1. E2, E2, G3, B5, B5, A4, G3, G3, E1, A4, A4, G3, B flat 5, A4, G3. Now, if you're doing these, you can do 1s and 2s, or if you can switch to your 5th finger on the G, then you can do 3, 1, 2, 1. But whatever finger gets there first on those bouncy notes are the ones to use. All right, D1, E2, G4, 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 E2, G4, E2, third line, G4, G4, A5, G4, 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 F sharp 3, A5, then put an echo. Let's continue, A3, G2, next line, A3, G2, all the way across, A3, G2, A3, A3, G2, A3, G2, A3, you're noodling pretty much, B4, A3, G2, G2, B4. Echo. B2, C3, D4, C3, D4, C3, D4, C3, D4. Again, you're just kind of noodling with those fingers. So, you can just noodle at will. Turn the page. D4, D4, C3, D4, C3, D4, C3, D4, C3, D4, B flat, 3. Watch that one. That's another one you want to put a little arrow by it to make sure that you're getting that spread so that you can do a G2, and then you can stay on the 2. Or you can do a G1. If you do a G1, you're going to put a check mark because you're going to be on a G2, A3 at the end of the line. So that G dotted half note can either be a 1 or a 2. The 8th notes are G2, A3, second line B4, A3, B4, B4, A3, G2, E1, A4, G3, A4, G3, B flat 5, A4, G3. And then the first ending, your pickup notes are D1 and E2. Second ending, your pickup notes are D1, E2. And the coda, G3, A4, B5, B5, A4, G3, G3, E1, A4, A4, G3, B flat 5, A4, G3, and then whatever fingers you can do you can just do them with those two if you want. Questions? Too much fun.
That was great.
It's a fun song. It really
Very
is.
fun. Thank you, Dawn.
Okay, you guys take care.
Thank you.
Have a fabulous rest of the week. Hopefully I'll see you on Friday concert. Yes, I am having my 11 o'clock Friday class for those of you that come. I'm still having that. So we'll see you then. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Can't do it without you.